So our focus is to just get people making money as fast as possible. If the new agent doesn't have enough money for leads, I'm going to take money out of my pocket, maybe split it with a manager. We're going to get them leads. But within 2 weeks, they're always fully self-sustainable because we've taught them how to manage their money with buying leads. Maybe set half aside at first and half aside. You may not even use that full half, but let's try to do it smartly. And then we just have them run the game plan.
Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. So I would love if you'd talk now about how, your training approach, your new agent launch approach, your sales approach, anything about what's done. Because anybody can leave a company, but very few, if not just one, leave a company and in 60 days get to the level of production you're doing. So yes, it's a testament to you. Yes, you're badass. Yes, you killed it. But my success and your success in the past don't yield a new person's success. And right now you're proving new people can be successful here. So what are you doing to help them launch so fast?
Yeah, so I'd say one thing, the leaders we have on the team, they're absolutely incredible. A lot of them have come from different sales opportunities and have the exact same passion that I do to save every single agent. Like our why is bigger than we just want to make money. We want to take people in a broken spot, help them fix it up, and let them have, a nice life for their family where, they don't have to work 12 hours a day. They don't, have to, get harassed by their manager or whatever. Right. So first off, it's just the leaders I have are absolutely, top ones we got, I've ever had in my life. So, but for, the new agents starting them out, I think the biggest thing I feel like that I tell people when they start is the biggest mistake people make is they buy a lead pack, they make some profit off of it, and they just hound the lead pack over and over and over again for like 2-3 weeks. And they're like, I'm not getting any sales. And then now they used all that money to pay their bills. And, now they're like back to square one, no money, like starting their sales career all over again. Right. So what I tell people is we buy leads every Monday and every Thursday, right? Every Monday, every Thursday, whatever you're comfortable investing into. Like, let's say, whether it's $100 a week or, twice a week or, $500 twice a week, just make sure you can do that for 2 weeks before you start. Make sure you have, if it's $500 twice a week, you have $2,000 that you can go and invest. And then you're going to hit those leads as hard as possible until you get your next batch and really just do it all over again. So one thing I'm blessed with, partnered up with Jay Maska, is, we have an agency trainer. He trains 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, takes, pressure off of our managers back to teach the simple things. So, we throw them in there. That's for 90 days. So it's continuing, their education throughout the first 90 days. And we give them the script. We run through the script with them. We show them how to use the Integrity Center quoter and then go to the carrier and write the application. And we really just teach them, we have like a whole media center of rebuttals. We have a whole media center of all of our scripts. Everything is so available to every agent. Like, I genuinely think if I, just disappeared and just handed it all to these guys, they could build a big business. You know what I mean? So we all do everything on Discord, and each individual team has their separate tab where they're just in there every single day. They might start off in the morning, doing like 10, 20, 30 minutes of role play, and then boom, it's sell the rest of the day. We don't have a ton of meetings. We do workshops 2 times a week, sales workshops about 2 times a week. And we're just continuously pouring into our people because, again, if you can teach the agent to make money, the managers are going to be happy and the managers are going to make money. So our focus is to just get people making money as fast as possible. If the new agent doesn't have enough money for leads, I'm going to take money out of my pocket, maybe split it with a manager. We're going to get them leads. But within 2 weeks, they're always fully self-sustainable because we've taught them how to manage their money with buying leads. Maybe set half aside at first and half aside. You may not even use that full half, but let's try to do it smartly. And then we just have them run the game plan. It's so simple. I feel like coming from a company that I did come from and coming to this, it's like, I look at myself, I'm like, I texted Jay, I was like, hey man, our visions don't align, like get the F out of here or something like that, like 2 years ago, right? And I'm just like, dude, I was an idiot, because I look at these people and I'm like, how are you still there? This is it's as easy as it possibly could be. Not easy, but it's as simple as it possibly could be. And then we just preach hard work. Like I said, we have great leaders that are writing a ton of production. And the best way to train someone, Grady, and you probably agree, is to just write a ton of production in front of themselves so they know the work it takes. They hear what you're saying every day on a daily basis. And it's really just leading from the front. We got a bunch of leaders that lead from the front. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's why we're doing what we are.
I love it. So buy leads every Monday and every Thursday, whatever amount you can. If it's 100, 200, or 500, have that amount. So pick an amount that you can invest, divide it by 4, have it ready for Monday, Thursday next week. You got 4 batches of new leads. You're conditioning them to purchase continuously. When they buy the leads, you've got to activate the money, which then, turns you into a business owner. You spend the marketing dollars, go service the customers that come in, make them hamburgers, whatever. Yeah. So, I love it all, man. It's fantastic. So let's dig in a tiny bit more. What leads are you starting them on?
Yeah, so we start them on, age vets or some of the bronze leads, for guys who, don't have a ton of money in the bank, or, we'll just invest. All my leaders are pretty good about investing into their business because, again, they're business owner oriented, and, I've showed them how to be business oriented. But yeah, we start them off on the age, and then we get them on the fresh as fast as possible, because I feel like what I tell my guys is, if you have more time than you do money, run age leads, because it's going to take a lot more calls, but it's probably going to be a higher percentage of profit because you're putting in that much work. And when you start to have more money than you do time, then start getting into the fresh leads, because you're not wasting time. You're on sales calls all day, and you're just flipping money.
Yeah, that's good. Now, predominantly final expense to start.
Yeah, veterans and a little bit of truckers.
Not to beat up on your previous captive company more than we should or more than they deserve, but what is it like having a full plethora of whole life products that you can offer now?
Yeah, so well, first things first is you don't get people to get declined, and then you have to just be like say see you later to the check and see you later to helping the family. So you can pretty much qualify anybody at pretty much any age range. You can get them the best product in the market for them. And overall, I go to bed at night knowing I'm doing the right thing for my clients, while beforehand, did I want to do what's right for the client, or did I want to make money? I would have said I wanted, to make money when I was super young. But once you get older, you start to understand it's like, okay, there's a reason why there's just a bunch of young kids there. There's a reason why they do this, is because you don't know exactly what's right and what's wrong until, you meet someone like Jay Master, you meet someone like myself, and we can show you these products. So for example, I've done some quotes and stuff, and it's sometimes they're 30, 50% cheaper. And it's like that is, I mean, what $100 is to a normal family. That's going out on the weekend and taking the kids out or something like that. So I'm just glad that I can do right by people, still make money, and grow a big business doing so.
What is your, I know right now is a lot of previous people or other sales industries, but what is your, do you have a general recruiting pitch that kind of something you open with, or is it common sense? Then we talk about leads, products, marketing. Is anything in that vein that you can expand on for everybody?
So like I said, I'm a big on the magnetic marketing, attracting individuals. I don't really reach out to too many people at all. What I do is, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see is who's my target audience for this recruiting post, right? I'm going to make a recruiting post. Instagram Reels, if you don't know, is the best thing to get yourself out there, and get people looking at your stuff that's maybe not following you now, or things like that. So I think, who do I want to recruit, right? So for example, if it's a pest control guy, right? I think, okay, what's probably the worst thing about pest control? Okay, I feel for me, I'm okay, well, if I had to leave and go in the Arizona sun in the summer and sell solar or pest control
out right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Or anywhere else, right? It's 100, 200 degrees outside. I just walked from my car in here and I was sweating bullets. I'm I would, one, I don't want to leave my family for 3 to 5 months. 2, it's getting deployed in the military, like goodbye family, like see you later. My dad did that. Don't want to do that for the rest of my life. So I think, okay, that's a problem with the business. Now I'm going to make a recruiting post that shows why we don't have to do that. We're in an air conditioned office. You don't have to sweat all day. You don't got to kiss your wife goodbye and say, see you in 3 to 4 months, because I got to feed the family, but I'm just not going to see the family. Right. So, I just pick something out about an industry I'm going to recruit from. Now, if it's new people, it's like, okay, what do new people want to hear? I want to do something for low cost, $300 insurance license. I got started. Now I make this much amount of money a month. And I just, show them how, whatever struggle you're having in this industry or in your life, we can help fix that. And I do it through, Instagram videos, Instagram stories. And that's how I get all of my people. So like, for example, there's people coming from various different, IMOs and insurance agencies and, captive companies to our team. And it's like, I'm just showing them why we're better. And if you want to hit me up and come over here, then, I think that's great. Again, I don't need to reach out to people. I'm just showing them what's possible and showing them what's wrong with their business so they can make the decision. I don't need to make the decision for anybody else. People that are going to do the best here are going to make the decision for themselves and then hit you up.
You push them to a call, push them to a video, push them to a website.
I push them to a call. I'll take a call at any single time of the day. If it's midnight and I'm in bed, I'm taking the call. I'm talking to them. And, for me, it's like if they have a couple people they want to bring, I'm going to bring them in, directly train them. And, if not, I'm going to just hand them off to one of my managers that I feel like they work best with. Jay always says you want to grow wide and you want to grow deep. So, I'm just making sure that we're growing wide. And at the same time, we're adding some people on and helping out our guys.
Jon, I love it, man. This has been fantastic. What are any of the things that have been on your heart that you want to share, and or some final thoughts you've got to close everybody out who's going, dude, this is, I'm not taking full advantage of this opportunity, and Jon is, and he's gonna go recruit my cousins if I don't get to work. So I will.
So I would say, from the beginning of my career in insurance, this isn't just, don't compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 20. I've been in insurance for 6 years. I made a very big name for myself in insurance and just the insurance space in general. And I've done 5 years of building my own brand. Number one, start today, right? For me, when I came in, the number one thing that I thought was I don't want to have any regrets, right? For me, like the number one thing I want in life, I want to be a dad, right, Grady? Like, you're a dad. It's awesome. You were telling me like it's the best thing ever. I want to be a dad. I want to have kids. Me and my fiance, like, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. For me, I don't want to have to look at my son and say, hey, I didn't try hard enough, and that's why we aren't where we are. That's my biggest fear, 100%, hands down. So I told myself from the beginning, there's absolutely nothing that I won't do to become successful. I'm going to do everything that I can to become successful, because if I am not successful, I can at least say I did my best, right? And if you can't say you did your best and you left, then yes, you failed, right? But if you did your best and you failed, you didn't actually fail. You just learned a lesson. And then the last thing that I'll close it off with is, the Alex Hormozi quote, my favorite quote ever. And it's just, show yourself that you are who you say you are, right? Are you saying that you're a top producer, but you're not doing top producer activity? Are you saying that you're a great leader, but you're not really leading your people, you're just doing something else and they're kind of fending for themselves? I know at the end of the day, when I lay my head down to rest, Jon Rindt is who he says he is. He's going to continue to win and he's never going to lose, because that's the last thing that I would like to do. But that would be it.
Bro, that's awesome. That is, it's a mindset that has taken time to develop and adopt, but at the same time, your actions have then conditioned your beliefs to now this is just, it's almost the principles that live inside your soul. And that's some deep stuff, dude. But at the same time, everybody, like he said, don't compare your chapter 1 or chapter 3 or chapter 7, his chapter 20, because he's suffered more than you have. Right. Let's flash back 20 minutes ago. And he's talking about getting texts and getting chewed out for breaking records, not making money. And here's Jay's out on the boat on Thursday. So, but at the same time, this is someone who you can map yourself against. Look at what he's doing. Look at his social media. Give him a follow. Throw some hearts. Throw a fire emoji in the comments. You're feeling extra zealous. But like, give yourself the permission to look in the mirror and go, I'm not where I want to be, and that's okay, right? Don't beat yourself up. Just make a decision to move forward and go, I'm going to start doing some of this stuff. I'm going to buy leads every Monday and every Thursday. I'm going to get my team going. I'm going to start recruiting more. I'm going to take calls all the time. I'm not going to make excuses for why my business isn't growing. And I'm going to believe bigger much sooner. So Jon, dude, amazing, brother. What's the number? What's the goal? What are you going to be at by convention? Like, what do you see?
I will be, hands down, I'll say it in front of everyone, I will be the fastest. We will be the fastest to grow to $1 million a month in FFL history. And if we aren't, I did everything I said. I did everything I could. Right. So, and I'm cool with that.
I love it, bro. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. And we're all cheering you on, man. Everybody, light up those comments real quick. Throw some JRs, throw a fire emoji, throw an eggplant. I don't give a crap. Just throw some love down in the chat below for everything that Jon poured out and shared for us today.